As Ular said, I'm the Tallinn's chief city architect, Andro Mänd. The city architect's position was restored here in Tallinn just 3 months ago, because 5 years ago our enlightened politicians, they decided that this kind of unpleasant position, that it's no more necessary. They made a mistake, and so now they restored this position. But this city architect's position here in Tallinn, it's actually quite old. The first city architect started here 215 years ago during the Napoleonic Wars. And so I, myself, I'm also kind of, how to say, this historic heritage that has been restored now here in the city government. But today's conference focuses on the historical legacy in the green transmission. So I use the opportunity, you are all professionals here. So what is the most important thing for our this historical legacy to be preserved? I know my English is bad, but I hope that you understood this question. Buildings in use. Well, basically, I totally agree. That's the correct answer for me as well. We need people. If we don't have people, then there's nothing to do with this legacy. And as the city architect, I have to say that I'm here in Tallinn. I'm in quite good position because the population is growing. And here are some numbers that approximately 10 years ago, the population was 418,000. So 10 years later, it's 457,000. And the latest number, this month, it's 461,000. So we predict that after the next decade, our population is more than 500,000. So during the last decade, the population growth has been a bit more than 10%. And I would say that actually it's a good number, that we don't have rapid growth, but still we have a growth. So, and if the city is well governed, then we can handle this growth quite well. Another number, GDP per capita. 2013, it was here in Tallinn, it was 24,600. 10 years later, it's 39,000. So, and right now, it's more than 40,000. So, during the last decade, the GDP growth has been 58%. Sounds really good. Why is this important? It's the same answer, that if we have people, if we have more money, then we have much more better opportunities to preserve our this historical heritage. And buildings in this condition are quite rare in Tallinn. Because of that, because we are a growing city, more people are coming in. I know that next speaker is from Riga. They have totally different topics because Riga is still a shrinking city. But as a city planner, I can tell you that after next decade, the situation in Riga will change as well. So, but despite those positive numbers, we see some worrying trends here in Tallinn. Historically, well, here in the middle, this is the old town. Historically, the gross average income in the old town has always been higher than in the rest of the Tallinn, rest of the city. And here we can see that in 2016, it was between 130 to 140%. Just 2 years later, it was between 120 to 130%. And now, well, not now anymore, but at 2022, we see that it had dropped to the level of 110 to 120%. So one may ask that what's the problem, or because the old town shouldn't be only for the rich people. I totally agree with that. But here we can see that the old town is in dark green zone and the surrounding areas are in light green. And here, just a few days after that, we see that, okay, I mean, the colors are not so good in this, on the screen, but actually the old town is now much more lighter than the surrounding districts. So we see that some processes are going on, and I'm a bit worried because of those numbers. So extinction of the old town. Here I picked some headlines from our newspapers from previous years. So the title says that Tallinn's old town has more tourists per inhabitant than Venice. The next article. The last time so few people lived in the old town was after the Northern War and the plague. So the residence number is exactly the same as 300 years ago. Another article. The state is selling the former Ministry of Economy building. And as you can see on this map, that it's in the southern part of the old town. Another article. The state is planning to move the Ministry of the Interior to the joint building of the ministries. This building is in the northern part of the old town. Another article, officials out, residents in. The building of the Ministry of the Interior could become a rental house. This is what the city wanted. Of course, we didn't succeed. But the thing is that the ministry is still in this building in the old town because other ministries in this big super ministries complex, they understood that if the Minister of Interior would move into their complex, then all those officials would have to go through thorough security check every day. And so they said, no, 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 we don't want to have this kind of ministry in our complex. And so they're still in the old town, but they want to move. So they are searching solutions for that. Another article. The building of the Ministry of Agriculture is for sale, also in the old town. Tallinn city government wanted to open the Vanalinna Elementary School for 1,200 school children in the building. The Ministry of Agriculture did not consider it possible to satisfy the city government's request. The state just wanted to take maximum out of it. So this kind of future of the old town or our heritage, well, for them it was just nothing. Another news. The new building of the Estonian Natural History Museum under construction will be the largest wooden building in the Baltics. Sounds as a very good news. But it has a dark side. Because right now the museum is in the old town. The new site is by the sea. So, what to do with the old museum building? I know that the state gonna probably do an auction and take the maximum profit out of it. But as a city architect, I'm strongly against it because I see that the city and especially the old town actually needs this building. Right now, we don't have kindergartens in the old town, not a single one, but we have 3,000 residents there. So, and we at the city government, we see that actually we need this building for the kindergarten because it's it suits perfectly well because they have, you can see, they have this inner courtyard, and according to our laws, every kindergarten has to have separated this playground area. So, here we need your help. I mean, Estonians here in this room. Foreigners probably don't meet with our politicians. But I think that in every meeting, every conference where you go, I think that you should raise this topic that actually we need more public functions into our old town, and the state shouldn't just put things for sale. Here is a bit better story. It's the city theater in the old town. It's owned by the city, not by the state. And so they're right now renovating it, and hopefully next year they're gonna open the new renovated city theater. And this is a really good function because it's not for foreign tourists, because all the plays are in Estonian language, so it's something for locals. This is one of the biggest problems here in our old town. Can someone guess? Airbnb. It's a pure nightmare here, and unfortunately our laws doesn't allow us to do basically anything. But fortunately right now on the state level we are trying to make some changes in our laws, and hopefully soon the city government will have some kind of rights to regulate this market. Okay, well, this is kind of bigger picture story, but I know that people always, they want to hear about real solutions as well and some detailed things. So I have just a few minutes left, so I'm going to talk about central heating here in Tallinn. Well, this is the map of our central heating network. The old town is there in the middle. Well, we could say that the situation is quite cool. The network in the old town is quite tense, but our heritage isn't only in the old town, and those other historical districts like Kalamaja, we can see it's totally empty. Pelgulin, another empty spot. Kadriorg, one may say that it's one of the most valuable, this historic district, and we see that it's also totally empty. So this is probably one thing that the city government can change, or like we cannot change, we can influence, is the thing that if the city renovates a street in those districts, then we have to cooperate with those central heating or central cooling companies, and we have to build it, because right now they are using electricity or this natural gas, and we all know what has happened with those prices. And so, back to the old town. As you can see, the network, this central heating network, it's really tense. But we still can see that we have buildings or districts which are heated by electricity. This district heating is green, electricity is yellow, and natural gas is blue. And I was surprised that some buildings still use wood for heating. Those are brown dots there. So as we can see that still, like, we have quite good connections in the old town, but still many buildings are not connected with it. So we have to kind of analyze it. And the good news is that the city government just recently decided to make a new kind of position. It's called the Old Town's curator, I guess in English. And this person would be kind of responsible for different future scenarios and developments in the old town. And I really hope that they will kind of analyze this map as well, and how to make those historical buildings more accessible to middle class people. Okay, thank you.